date of policy approval, C, date of application, or D, date of policy delivery? Hopefully you pick A, date of medical exam. Very good. All right, let me give you another one on the conditional receipt. January 5th, completed the application, but Jane said, I'm not going to give you my hard-earned money just yet. Bob said, no problem, you don't have to. 2 days later, turn the application into the insurance company. A week later, they issue Jane's policy. A week later, Bob delivers that policy. Now we need to know what's the effective date of coverage. So the effective date of coverage will either be A, date of medical exam, B, date of policy approval, C, date of application, or D, date of policy delivery. Hopefully you pick D, date of policy delivery, but here's things that have to happen on policy delivery. The agent always delivers the policy, has to have Jane sign a statement of good health stating her health hadn't changed. And the agent has to collect at least the first month's premium, and that's when coverage goes into effect. All right, I got more for you here, another timeline. Here we go, January 5th, Jane completes the application, pays her initial premium. Bob gives her a conditional receipt. 2 days later, he turns the application into the insurance company. A week later, Jane has a paramedical exam where a nurse comes out, draws her blood. Now, the results of this paramedical exam showed Jane had nicotine in her system. Well, evidently, Jane likes to smoke a little bit. On her application, Jane said she was a non-smoker, but evidently, she likes to smoke pipes. All right, let's stop right there. Is the insurance company just going to decline Jane altogether because she's a smoker right now? Well, no. What they're going to do is they're going to rate her up. We'll talk more about that later on. So let's start over with our timeline. Jane paid her premium. Bob gave her a conditional receipt. 2 days later, he turns the application into the insurance company. A week later, Jane has her paramedical exam. Nurse comes out, draws her blood. Remember, the results showed that Jane had nicotine in her system. Jane is a pipe smoker. She doesn't really like cigarettes, I guess. A week later, they issue